welcome to the dungeon, boys and girls.
Welcome, everybody.
So, you got girls in the dungeon today?
So let me see who's in the dungeon with me today. Oh, wow. The same three people that are always with me. What do you know? It's Chad.
Hello, I'm here.
Dano.
Hello, I'm here.
Steve Areno.
I am here.
Ooh.
In the flesh.
And me, Rusty. Let's kick this show off. Let's get rolling right into it. Let's jump into the featured stuff. No,
No. That's too soon. Too early.
Let's go. How should we kick this off, guys? How about we kick it off with a little Weller Antique 107.
Whoa.
The original wheated bourbon.
Ooh.
So this one's going to be obviously Antique 107 coming in at 107.
107 point.
So
No.
W.L. Weller is credited for meaning to be the first Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey using wheat instead of rye. So this one it's going to taste sweet. Let's see if we can get these on our palate and find out what it is. But sweet yet bold with an unusual floral notes and hints of vanilla and a reverence to the legacy of William LaRue Weller.
Okay.
Here's to a great
his
show
legacy.
tonight.
All right.
I like it.
Oh, that's
I like the weeded
way too
personally.
smooth.
That's a dangerous smooth.
Yeah, that's way too smooth.
And I did get the floral and the vanilla. I got the floral and vanilla note.
And the burn of gasoline.
Quench my thirst with gasoline. So give me fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire.
What's up?
Hey, everybody. What's up? So today we have another album review.
All right.
We're going to be reviewing Mick Mars, The Other Side of Mars. Chad is going to take the wheel. And my little plug on it is I listened to some of it. I did not listen to all of it, but it sounds pretty cool, pretty heavy. I like how it starts. Has a little bit of Aussie vibe to me.
Yeah.
Just what I'm hearing it. So take it away, Chad.
Definitely heavy. Does not sound like Motley Crue. Which is I'm not saying that's a good or bad
first
thing.
question. How much like Crew does this sound like?
So to me, I mean, I know this is, you're going to talk about this album, but to me, I think it does sound like Motley Crue. It sounds like the 1994 self-titled album of Motley Crue.
Okay.
That's what the John Corabi
Yes.
era, when they played the one album with
Yes,
him.
I can buy that. It's close. It's closest to that Crew album. I actually felt like this album sounded like 6 a.m. a lot.
Okay.
And that's ironic, but or coincidental, or whatever the proper use of the word is, whatever the Weller use of the word is. Anyways, this album was produced by Michael Wagner. Michael Wagner, we know from 80s stardom of, producing and mixing. He actually mixed Too Fast for Love way back in the day. And we know he produced tons of those 80s metal albums. Trivia question for you guys. What band was Michael Wagner in before he started going behind the board?
That's a very good question.
Keel?
No, that'd be too late. Accept.
Really?
He was the original guitarist.
Really?
One of the original guitarists of Accept.
Really?
Anyways, he's still around and he's producing. This album was written by Mars and a couple vocalists that are on the album. Jacob Button, Brian Garboa, and Paul Taylor did a lot of writing and producing of this album. Paul Taylor of Winger, the second guitar player, keyboard player, wrote a lot of songs for Winger. He had a lot to do with this album. So all in all, this album, it's punchy. It's heavy. It has really good songwriting on it.
Mm-hmm. Great tones.
It's got good modern sounds. Both of the singers are good. So it's really a well-crafted, modern, heavy record with good vocals and good guitar playing and good songwriting.
So it all together sounds like Mick still has it together.
I think Mick's, playing is right up to par. And I think the smart thing about this record is that he surrounded himself with all the people that he needed to fill in the gaps to be able to make a record.
Cool.
And they made a great record. I would suggest it to anyone. Some standout songs. One of those mid-tempo ones, Alone. That's a great song on there. Right Side of Wrong.
So I agree with you, Chad. I think this was a more modern sounding album. I mean, the album rocks. I think it's very good. I don't know if you're aware, but they were supposed to collaborate with John Corabi, but they just wasn't seeing eye to eye, whatever it was. But it would have been kind of cool because it would have been, even if it was one song, just to go back to that 1994 album. I love the album. I think it is one of Motley Crue's best albums. It's a different sounding album.
Right.
But I think it's a great album. And this one brings me back to that day because all they had was that and a little EP that each one made their own song on. So kind of brought me back to that.
Well, I'm going to give this album 4 shackles.
4 shackles.
4 shackles.
Good
It is
rating.
worth listening. I'm not trying to compare it to Motley Crue or anything like that. On its own, for its time, I'm giving it 4 shackles.
Nice.
Cool. Go listen.
4x4. 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 4x4.
Okay, today's 4x4. Top 4 21st century rock bands. This isn't our all-time GOAT list. This is just who are the GOATs so far from the 21st century on, or at least our favorite bands. I'm interested to hear what you guys, if we have any crossover on this. How did you guys approach this, Rusty?
You know, I like the sound that I like, and a lot, you know, the tones and everything that we've talked about before of those 80s bands. So kind of going with that vibe, but yet different, more up to date, more modern, kind of like the Mick Mars album, more modern like that. But kind of approach it that way. Looking at it.
Okay, well, I'm looking forward to what you got there. All right, Dan, any?
For me, I just kind of tried to go off the top of my mind, and all the bands that I thought of initially were all late 90s, mid to late 90s. I'm like, really? So then I had to go dig in a little bit, and then
That makes you old.
yeah, I guess so. I know, like, right. That's what I was thinking. I'm like, geez.
If you're thinking it.
Yeah. So, but anyways, after that, I did a little research, and I was able to find some that are worthy.
Okay.
I think it will be interesting because
It will be.
what your guys' list will be like, oh yeah, oh man, I forgot
Yeah.
about that.
Well,
band.
music is so loosely defined now. I mean,
Well,
we may not even be pulling from the same well, even.
that is
So-
probably true. But I do know this, that rock and roll is in good hands. That the kids are handling the music
Oh yeah.
well.
Mhm.
And, you know, I was worried for a time that the music form that we have is not wouldn't be the same. But
Yeah.
I'm
Well, you have the right to worry, but the fans keep it alive. Kick it off, Rusty. What is your number 4?
Actually, this band you turned me on to, Chad, and I
Really?
went out and bought like 4 albums from them. When you turned it on, it was Pretty Reckless.
Oh, okay.
I think they rocked. It's formed in 2009.
Yep.
Yeah, they're good.
They're very good.
very
Taylor
nice.
Momsen. Good
Very
front woman.
Yep.
Nice. Okay, number 4. This is my first change. It's already happening in my list.
Okay.
Who was on the list and now is getting moved to the honorable mention list is Dirty Honey. That's the first band getting moved off.
Wow.
The band that is replacing them is Goodbye June.
Okay.
Goodbye June, I know very little about them. I know they've put out 1 or 2 discs and they are brand new. They've only been out for a couple of years. And
Already made that much of an impact on you that you're going to just
you
slide him in at number 4.
you need to listen to them. I promise you.
He's pointing at Rusty.
I'm pointing right at Rusty. I promise you.
The fans can hear that.
They could feel the thunder of the finger. You're gonna get some elements of old AC/DC.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
Dan, what do you got?
I got Volbeat for number 4.
I like Volbeat.
Yeah.
He was good.
They're a good band.
Yeah.
My number 4 is Rival Sons. Rival Sons
Interesting.
came on the scene around 2009, I believe. Some great records, some good, really, I mean, it's modern sounding, but it has that kind of 70s rock kind of oomph to it. And really good band.
Cool.
Rival Sons.
All right. Number 3 for me is taking Steve's band and putting him back on the list to number 3 and putting Dirty Honey back in this list. Now, this is our own list, but Dirty Honey's back in there.
There would have been crossover.
And you're going to miss them when they're gone.
That's right. No. They're in my honorable mention. They are my honorable mention.
There you go.
Number 3 for me is Rainwolf. And this is a trio. Actually, they're a trio. But the night that I saw them open for my number 1 band in this category, they had a duo. It was a dude that wrapped a mic cord around his neck and howled these songs out. A dude on drums, and he was playing the dude was playing a 335, standing on a bass drum, kicking it, and had these multiple effects going on. So he had guitar and bass rocking, and it was 2 dudes. And I've not had my mind blown like that since 1977.
It doesn't happen very often, but it is great when you get surprised by music.
It was true. And from that moment, I dug into what they've got going on. And that's
All right. Some good bands to check out that even I don't really know. Dan?
My number 3 is Stone Sour.
Stone Sour,
Yeah.
another great band.
Apparently they were a band in the 90s, but their first album, I believe, was 2002.
Yeah.
So
So Corey Taylor had Stone Sour before Slipknot?
sounds like it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I know he
Maybe
grew
he
up
went
a
back.
fan of that style of
Mhm.
music that's more
He may have gone
informed
back
Stone
and
Sour.
re-recorded or re-released those or something. Because, yeah, the first Slipknot was... Well, actually, no. The first Slipknot, I think, was 98. 97 or 98. So, yeah.
Yeah. All right. My number 3 is a band that gets a lot of crap, but I enjoy watching them. I think they sound great. I think they are full of creative spontaneity. They allow for it in their live shows. Greta Van Fleet. Some young kids. They're very Zeppelin-esque. That a lot of people kind of hate on it a little bit, but
no need for hate.
Yeah, there's no need for that.
They are
They
the
sound
love
great.
child of Rush and Zeppelin.
And
Yeah, I haven't heard the hate.
Led Zeppelin is great.
That's
So
that's-
what's wrong with having some stuff that comes from Led Zeppelin?
I mean, those guys rock. I haven't heard the hate, but it doesn't mean it's not out there, obviously. But I think they're a great band.
They are a great band. I saw them open up for Metallica, and they did some things where I was surprised.
All right. Well, Greta Van Fleet is your number 3. So my number 2 is not them. So mine came from 2 really big bands that came together to make a new band. Scott Weiland, Duff, Velvet Revolver, 2002.
Good one.
Those couple albums were damn good albums. What you got for number 2, Steve?
Number 2, I got Greta. I've seen them a handful of times, and they've always blown me away.
They do
and
not disappoint.
All right. Number 2 for me is Kvelertak, a Norwegian heavy metal band.
Wow.
They rock.
They're not from Sweden.
Not from Sweden, from Norway. And
Wow.
it's a weird spelling. It's Kvelertak, I think.
And how do you say it again?
Kvelertak. Pretty sure. But yeah, they rock.
What style of metal are they?
It's weird because it's like there's some like AC/DC feeling stuff in there,
Oh,
but there's also some punk rock in there. And at times, I think most of the time he's kind of screaming. But again, like when I listen to music, I tend to listen to more guitars and drums and rhythms and all that. But to me, they're awesome. When I've heard the first album, it didn't do too much for me. But then there was an album that came out, I think 2013, or maybe it was 17, called Split. And that was just it was awesome. And then I went back and started listening, and they've got a good new album too. But yeah, check them out. Caveller Tack, number 2.
Yeah, worth checking out. Check it out. My number 2 is kind of not really a super group as far as a bunch of famous people coming together, but in the rock world, it's kind of a virtuoso super group. And it's a 3-piece with Mike Portnoy on drums, Billy Sheehan on bass, Richie Kotzen on guitar, the Winery Dogs. They got 3 records out. They're all great rock and roll with insane playing. All right, the big moment. Number 1. Let's see what you guys got.
All right.
This is your favorite band of the 21st century. You better bring it.
I'm just going to jump right into it, and I'll explain why. Avenged Sevenfold. City of Evil, I believe, is the 3rd album, but then you got that where we've done 3-peats, like how can they do it better, whatever. Self-Title was next, and then Nightmare was great. Wasn't a big fan of the next couple albums out there, but I think the new one is a good album. They do get some flack over it, but
I like the new one.
I think it's really good. They got like Frank Sinatra song. They've got all this different mix in there.
Diverse.
But that's what I like about them is they do cross genres. They experiment. They do different things in there. I mean, some bands like AC/DC, it's a straightforward rock and roll, and that's what they do, and they're great at it. Where Avenged Sevenfold is going, they'll have a steel guitar, a banjo, a Frank Sinatra song, screamo. I mean, it'll be,
but it still sounds
everywhere.
like them. Still sounds like Avenged Sevenfold.
So Avenged Sevenfold.
All right.
Numero uno. Rival Sons.
Oh, number 1.
Oh
Poor
yeah,
Steve.
I've seen Rival Sons now 7 times. Open for bands, headline. For me, that is the torch carrying band.
All right, number 1, I got Ghost. I think they're a revival of kind of 70s rock. Really good songwriting, really good presentation, theater, the image. And I'm typically not an image person, but it works really well for them. And just really like Ghost.
Yeah, I really like Ghost too. I couldn't put them on my list because I don't know enough of their stuff yet, and they're new for me. But I love what I hear so far.
Yeah.
All right. Well, my number 1 is Alter Bridge. Alter Bridge is made up of Miles Kennedy on vocals and then Creed, basically. Mark Tremonti. Songwriting is superb. Miles Kennedy's vocal is great throughout. They've got several albums out. I think 6 albums by now, but I would start with Blackbird if you have not listened to Alter Bridge. But they're all good.
Miles Kennedy playing with Slash also. Doing double duty. A lot of bands are musicians are in multiple bands now, or used to be this is my band and you can't cheat on me and play with another band. And now it's like common. You're in 2 bands, 3 bands, whatever. And it's all over the place now. It's not that same thing.
Well, they got a gig because that's how they make money. They're not making it off album sales.
Yep. It sucks because I want to see it. I want to touch it. I want to feel it. I want to buy it. Like whatever. Actually, rather have
bands we like still make albums.
They do, but some of them are even talking about.
They just trickle in.
Just going to bring a song, and it's like, no, go back to making a whole album. I want to hear the whole thing, front to back. Some of those things have the B side, and it's like I still want to hear it.
Sometimes I like the B sides the best.
Yep.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, if I didn't listen to the Mick Mars album, for the review the way that I did from front to back three times over the course of the last couple of months, plus here and there, I wouldn't have gotten the same feel. When you just kind of bounce around and try to feel it or listen to this song or shuffle it or that kind of thing, you get a different experience than if you listen to the way they tracked it out. And listen to
There's a reason why they put the songs in the order that they did.
There was always a reason for the way we did it. So, yes.
We had a couple of repeats, right? Wasn't there
Rival
Sons, right?
Greta and Rival Sons.
Greta and Rival Sons. Steve and I both
And we'll
had.
give you an honorable mention on Dirty Honey.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That is very kind of you.
But there was another honorable mention that probably should make it, especially with this group. And that's Mammoth, WVH.
Okay.
Should probably be in an honorable mention here.
Good band.
All right, tonight we are going to do a banger battle, and this one is a monster. This is one of the battles that will go on and on forever. It's been done before, and we're going to do it again. So this is about really the battle of the behemoths for the metal world, right? And we're going to go
the thrash metal world for sure.
Yeah, I mean, two big ones, part of the big four. Metallica versus Megadeth. And it's who has the better musicians, better albums, better songs, and to Dan's liking, who has the better image. I could start with Metallica, founded in 1981 by James Hetfield and drummers Lars Ulrich. They add Dave Mustaine. Yes,
Wait.
same guy.
What?
That's in Megadeth.
What?
What? And Cliff Burton on bass. So they're all playing all around the U.S., gaining all sorts of cult following at that time. A lot of turmoil and infighting in the band. They fired Dave Mustaine, give him a bus ticket home back to L.A. then, right? Yeah. And they bring on Kirk Hammett to replace him in Metallica. They land their first record deal and release Kill 'Em All. 4 of the songs on there were written by Dave, or at least partial of the writing with it. So Dave goes back to LA and he's very angry, right? I mean,
But Dave is angry.
he is angry again. He creates his own band and wants his band to be louder, faster, and angrier. 1985, Megadeth launches their debut album, Killing Is My Business and Business Is Good. Now the real battle begins. Metallica comes out with Ride the Lightning and Master of Puppets. Megadeth answers with Peace Sells, but who's buying? And then So Far, So Good, So What? And then in 1990 comes along and Megadeth arguably releases their best album, Rust in Peace. And Metallica has a nice run as both bands refine their skills to become a little bit more commercial than what they were doing from the very beginning of the days.
In terms of musicians, you guys want to go around the bend and give your opinion on the musicians in the band?
Sure. I think Dave's a better guitar player than Kirk.
But as Megadeth compares to Metallica, Dave would be more compared to James, and Kirk would be more compared to
Like Friedman.
a plethora of guitar players that have come through Megadeth.
So for Megadeth as a whole, musicianship would be in a higher class.
I think so. I really am jaded on this because I was part of those early 80s guys in LA. That was, who are these guys? But Dave was a part of those guys.
Yeah, I would say if you were doing like a contest where you're grading on musicianships and ability, Megadeth wins just because of all the A-class players they've had over the years. And I would even say Dave is a better lead player than James, technically, but James is a better rhythm player. To me, more powerful rhythm player.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Definitely.
And I would say that Dave is a more... if you took them both in their prime, I'd say they'd be pretty head-to-head, Kirk and Dave. But if you put Kirk against Friedman, no chance. I think Friedman...
As far as
technicality. However, just from a musicianship and songwriting perspective, I would vote Metallica. I think they have a better sense of songwriting, and it's obvious by album sales and the appeal and how many people like them. And to me, I've always leaned more towards Metallica in general because of the soulfulness of the songs compared to Megadeth. Megadeth to me is a little bit more, I don't want to say like nerdy, but it has, but that's,
a little more underground.
A little more underground. And I think
they
sometimes
stayed where they all were when they started.
Right.
When Metallica got huge, Megadeth stayed
right
pretty much in that same kind of lane.
And they just got better at playing that style.
Mm-hmm.
So that I would say technicality, Megadeth wins. Songwriting, Metallica wins from a musician standpoint.
I have a question. It is generally the same because the big four we're talking about. So that the
two of the big four.
Well, it's two of the big four, but the fan base of the big four is a lot of the same people. We're not talking about here's Metallica's group, here's Megadeth. We're not talking about they may say I like them better, but it's still it's generally speaking the same.
I would venture to say that everybody who is a fan of Slayer, Megadeth, and Anthrax is a fan of Metallica. I would say the large amount of people that are fans of Metallica aren't a fan of any of those three bands.
Really?
Metallica is one of the biggest bands that's ever been on the planet.
No,
These guys can't really even play arenas unless they're all playing together one show. Metallica has fans that are outside of thrash metal. They're mainstream. But from a musician standpoint, I mean, it's hard. This is a hard one because Megadeth has, it's one of those bands where it's really Dave. And so once you get some popularity and the guitar player doesn't work out, you've got the pick of the litter. So, and that's what he just kept doing, was marching through all these great players through Megadeth. But to me, the one element from musicianship that's the most important that Metallica has in spades over most bands is the chemistry of the musicianship. And so I give the edge to Metallica.
Good point.
So to me, I mean, I think we're all on the same page. I think Megadeth definitely had the better musicians, and I would put even Dave better than Kirk Hammett as far as that goes, or definitely James Hetfield. But bass players, I agree with you, Steve. I mean, Cliff Burton, that's numero uno there.
Yeah.
So
Not going to get too many arguments on that one.
But to your point, Chad, Megadeth got the pick of the litter. They got to pick whatever someone left, someone got fired, more likely fired, that they're replacing that person with someone just as good, if not better, than the guy, his
The new shiny
predecessor.
model.
Well, now it's not your friend that you grew up with. It's a line of virtuosos that want to be in your band that you get to choose from.
And that's
Right.
the uniqueness about Metallica, like you were saying, the chemistry, because that friendship and that bonding over the
Because
years.
the chemistry, when we're talking about that, yes, Metallica, because obviously they have staying power. They've been around forever. As not the original
Plus,
four, but those
I think they
it's
play
been pretty core
together
for a long
right.
time.
better than any version of Megadeth. I think we all kind of said Metallica has the better records. I'd
I
say.
didn't.
Would you put
I would.
Megadeth's discography over Metallica? I can say that.
would. I'm that guy. I'm the Bon Scott guy. I'm the Megadeth guy.
Are
I'm
you
that-
really?
I'm
or
that
are you,
one.
Or you,
No, I
you
am.
really feel that way?
I feel that I enjoy those albums better. I've always been more of a Megadeth guy.
Yes?
I was actually a late bloomer with Megadeth because my drummer was always like, dude, Megadeth. Like, he was always the Megadeth guy too. I was like, no. And so I still have the opinion, I'm more of a Metallica guy, but Megadeth grew on me over the years. And I started to realize like, wow, they can play for sure.
I was on Megadeth right away because, you knew about Dave and you knew about him leaving Metallica, especially in California. You had all that information. But Megadeth songs, they didn't do it for me.
Come on, man. Rust in Peace is
There's some great
gem.
There's
That
some
thing is
great
a-
there's some great Megadeth songs.
Wake Up Dead's
I don't
cool.
think any of their records is filled with great songs. And I think there's plenty of Metallica albums that don't have a bad song on them.
What about Image? I think that would be our last point to touch on.
Well, I mean, this is a tough one. If you look at the back of Kill 'Em All, nobody's ever voting for Metallica on Image. But if you look at the whole career, like I just said, you got Lars and James and Kirk in every picture for all those years. It's hard to keep track of who's in Megadeth. So if you look at it from that standpoint, Megadeth loses on Image.
Yeah, the era that I always identified with was how they looked in the Justice era. That was the first time I saw them, and they were on the back cover, and they just looked badass, But so I would still vote, minus the Load era. I didn't care too much that they cut their hair, but I still wasn't a fan of it. So, but I would still vote Metallica for Image.
Well, yeah, now they're all iconic. So anything you see them in, it's Metallica.
Just rock stars.
Well,
up on
what would you
stage.
consider the way they present their album covers as part of their image?
Definitely.
So how would you compare Megadeth versus Metallica? That's a good battle right
Now,
there because they both have good album covers.
The difference with Megadeth is they have the mascot, and Metallica never really has had a mascot.
Right.
So
So you have a more continuity.
it's probably more consistent branding with Megadeth.
Yeah.
In the style of the art that has gone through. So I'd probably give the artwork to Megadeth.
So that's part of the image.
I recognize the Metallica brand at the same level as I see the Kiss brand and I see the Beatles brand. And those are not thrown out lightly. And
they're as high as you can get.
So I think Metallica gets that one.
So Metallica's the winner of the banger battle?
That's my vote.
Not according to Rusty.
I mean, can you...
I would say
concede?
yes, but I mean, I'm just saying I'm more of a Megadeth fan, but I would take, yes, the Metallica would be the band.
All right, guys, our featured subject tonight is a little bit interesting, but I'm sure it'll be fun. Artist who had a successful career after leaving their successful band. So they were already known. This wasn't somebody who got discovered and they were in a band. Everybody was in a band before they were in their big band. This is artists that left a band that was successful for whatever reason. Maybe they were fired, maybe they were just left, and their new band or their new career was just as successful, maybe even more.
Can I give one out right away out of the gate?
Sure, what do you got?
Dave Mustaine. He was in a band called Metallica and then went and formed his own band called Megadeth.
See,
what an episode. What a tie.
I wouldn't count that one because Metallica wasn't famous when Mustaine was in them. He's not even on a record.
Well, he was. His writings were.
Yes.
Rusty, you're getting an honorable mention on that one.
Yeah,
Thank you.
that was good thinking.
Something.
I think that was good thinking.
Okay, carry on with your introduction.
So what do you guys think? I mean, was there some that just popped right into your head? Or did you have to think about this a little while? Or
I didn't. I didn't have to think about it too much. But
what do you got, Steve?
It's interesting that the singers that I'm thinking about had something to do with Richie Blackmore. Singers that spun out of Deep Purple or Rainbow went on to do bigger things like Whitesnake, like Black Sabbath, and on to solo careers from there. Ronnie James Dio, as a singer for Rainbow, was, hey, this is a great singer.
And he was the original singer of Rainbow.
Yes. And he went on to be way bigger when the jump into Sabbath occurred. No one can fill Ozzy Osbourne's shoes. Well, I think
he did all right.
I think Ron James Dio did all right in that
I
department.
think his toes popped out the front of the shoes.
And then he goes solo, and then he goes solo, so he did it twice.
Exactly, he jumped out and did it even bigger. And that, David Coverdale was
probably the exception.
Yes,
we don't have too many of Ronnie James Dio trifecta success stories.
But why aren't we talking about Elf?
Because they weren't huge.
Well,
and actually Rainbow wasn't even that huge in America when Ronnie was in them. They didn't hit really hard in America until Ronnie was gone.
Well, yeah. That when Ronnie James Dio left, I think that Rainbow went up.
They definitely did in America.
Well, but they went more poppy sound.
Well,
too,
that's
like Since You've Been Gone and songs like that. I mean, it was definitely a change. Yeah.
MTV's here now, whereas Rainbow was more
but
70s.
Yeah,
but then you go back to Deep Purple. I mean, you said David Coverdale. When he joined there, nobody knew. There wasn't. I mean, he was picked up from nothing, right? I mean, David Coverdale started in Deep Purple.
Yes, he was an unknown. When
he was an unknown guy when Ian Gillan was unceremoniously booted.
So he goes on. Obviously, Whitesnake is much bigger than when his albums were on Deep Purple selling. Versus, I mean,
right. He was in the post Ian Gillan Deep Purple,
right?
But Deep Purple was kind of they were already on Mount Rushmore.
They were already there
at that time,
and that's the
burn
era, and you're going. Whew.
Yeah, however you feel about those records were a fall off from the Richie Blackmore records.
Oh, I think the David Coverdale Deep Purple albums were great.
I mean, What's that?
I think the Deep Purple albums with David was great also.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
they
do
were
too.
great albums.
Yeah,
Tommy
they-
Bolin was great.
They didn't. I don't think they fell off. Is that what the question was?
No, just who got bigger later.
It's not a question. It was just a statement by me that Deep Purple started waning after Blackmore, after Ian Gillan, and then it's definitely after Blackmore left.
Yeah, I think they held it together because remember, first Cal Jam was in '74.
But Richie was still there at that time.
Richie was there, Glenn Hughes and
Coverdale, yes.
Yeah, and so
That's a very infamous performance.
it sure is. It sure is.
Well, we're in the same vein. Ozzy,
And Black Sabbath.
obviously
He did
Black
well.
Sabbath did
Yes.
super well as a solo artist. I mean, he's Ozzy Osbourne. What else can you say?
I believe Heaven and Hell came out before,
Blizzard of Oz,
Blizzard.
slightly, but yes,
but it would that which
I believe you're right.
and that was in 1980, right?
1980, yeah.
I became a bigger fan of Ozzy after Black Sabbath, but yet Dio, to me, his whole career, no matter what band he was in, was a great band, whether it was solo, Black Sabbath, Rainbow, Elf, like they're all, to me, great bands. Were not that not that the Black Sabbath was bad with Ozzy. I just think they stepped up their game when they went with Dio.
I would take those two albums over any Black Sabbath album with Ozzy singing on it.
So would I.
Blizzard of Oz and Diary of a Madman. I mean, it's got that sound. It's a very unique sound.
It is a unique sound, but the heaviness of there's some heavy stuff that
What heavy stuff on what?
on Black Sabbath. I am not disparaging what you're saying,
I in no way said that those albums are heavier. I just say they're better.
Agreed. Yes.
and that's
So I'll shotgun fire some names out here real quick.
Shotgun Fire.
All right. We got Phil Anselmo in Down and Slip Joint Ritual after Pantera. David Lee Roth, not more successful, but
David Lee Roth definitely falls in the category. He's obviously Van Halen was huge, and then the David Lee Roth band for the first two albums was huge,
Sammy Hagar goes on from Montrose to be Sammy Hagar.
and then goes on to Van Halen from Sammy Hagar,
And then goes
back
on to being Sammy and
and
his
then to
circle
Van
of
Halen
influence.
again,
And Van Halen again, and then Sammy again.
to Chickenfoot.
So here's one for you. How about Dana Strum and Mark Slaughter leave Vinnie Vincent Invasion and go to Slaughter and had way bigger success.
Definitely way
And
bigger
Vinnie
success.
never came out with another album since that, did he?
Yeah,
As far as I know.
I wouldn't say Vinnie Vincent was popular, real successful though.
I like those two albums.
So do I. But they didn't really have. They never. I don't think they ever headlined shows.
No.
I always saw them opening. What about Slash?
There you go.
I mean, we've been
Yeah.
focusing on singers, but here Slash is the guitar player of Guns N' Roses, and his solo band, and with Miles Kennedy and the Conspirators, very successful.
Would Scott Weiland make it into this category?
Sure.
Yeah, why not? Why not everybody that's in Velvet Revolver?
That is true.
We could say Vince Neil.
Could we?
We could. He was in Motley Crue. He gets fired, quits. Who knows?
Do you
Goes
think
to
he was
Vince Neil, he had
successful
the
as a
Exposed.
solo?
As successful? No, but
Or
we're just
even
throwing names out there
successful.
now. Oh yeah, you're invited, but your friends can't come. He was on the Encino Man. He was on some movie soundtracks on that and stuff, and then back into Motley Crue again. And he still does solo shows.
The Traveling Wilburys. All four of those jabronis.
5 of them. 5 or 6 of them.
They were all superstars, but then decided to make this group and not care.
Yeah, now we're in a whole nother category of supergroups, prog rock supergroups. We're on a whole nother different podcast now.
You should segue that.
Welcome to the Rock and Roll Loft.
Master of puppets, I'm pulling your strings, twisting your thoughts and smashing your dreams.
One more mention, which I already mentioned in my top 4 21st century bands, is Creed. Basically, the whole band of Creed became Alter Bridge, just changed singers. Alter Bridge is hugely successful. And Creed was at their peak, they were one of the biggest bands in the world.
All right, guys, we had some good topics today. We had the banger battle between Megadeth and Metallica. Talk about the who had successful careers later on, and we did our top 4 for the 2000s.
Yeah, we did that too. We did that too. We did.
Yeah. So we got the last word. What does the dungeon recommend?
The dungeon recommends.
I will kick this off, and I'm going to go with got the book World Infestation. It's about rat. It's some stories from by Greg Prado, and there's some good stories in there. Some you've heard before, some you haven't. So good read.
All right.
I'm going to recommend a venue. If you ever find yourself that you are needing to go to a concert in Vegas, the Park MGM Theater, which holds about 4,500 people, is a fantastic gem of an arena.
Now, what I would say to that, while you're at the Park MGM, before you go to that venue, go to Bavette Steakhouse. It's one of the best. It's like a mafia, like the red lights, a nicer restaurant. Mm-hmm. Dan and I have been there before. Dan thought we had a ribeye, a filet, and we had this thick cut bacon. Dan's like, "That's my favorite steak." I'm like, "That's bacon, Dan." That's a true story.
Still was my favorite steak.
It was.
That's awesome.
I mean, it is delicious. They make a awesome old fashioned too.
I'm just going to remind everybody to go get the Mick Mars record, The Other Side of Mars. It is a good record, and give it a real listen.
All right, we are out.
Thank you for listening to the Rock and Roll Dungeon. Until next time.